in the blood, right?
Yeah. If it is, I do, yeah.
You ready?
I was dairy farmers. My birth family are dairy farmers still.
Yeah.
Good evening and welcome to January 25th, 2024 Planning Board meeting. First, I'm going to appoint Danny Jean as a voting member. Pretty good with it.
Yeah, that was.
And the first item on the agenda is Matthew Andrick, applicant for Whitetail Commercial Development and your allowed use, so I don't see a problem. Does anybody else?
No. I went and looked at the site plan, and what you want to do is there was an allowed use in there, so you really don't even need to come here.
All right, just following procedures. Tony had called me and said I needed to show up, so
Please do.
here I am. Well, thank you very much.
And
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
We'll make sure Tony understands it. Because he's going to get something from the state, right, about your inspection station?
Yeah, they had contacted him and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
needed approval through him, and he said I had to come before you, so.
Yeah.
I got to stop it.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry to make you come back, but
No worries. Have a good day.
Yeah.
and now we're down to zoning amendments. Which one's first? My wetland one.
Then you got the, I made this thing here.
You made this
You
thing.
guys, you guys, you know,
But
did you print out your emails?
I did.
Bill, you did too?
Yeah, I don't know what it looks like. Is this the copy?
Yeah.
I printed the email.
Yes, I did.
So the wetland, Article 28.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Amendment one. I got an email from Tom Carr which had a different methodology, completely different than what I had proposed. And I'll be blunt, I didn't have time to go through it. I don't know if it's better, different, same, whatever. So I'm just gonna withdraw that, rather than trying to get something through and then changing it later.
That's the me selling. Your light's on and your door's open. I didn't really want to touch it. I'm sorry. Thank you. Yeah, no problem.
So do you, did I take a motion to withdraw?
I make a motion to withdraw.
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Opposed, abstained? Number one's dead.
That's
I-
easy.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So we want to make reference in withdrawal that we want to continue the process though,
Yes.
not to just say it's dead in the water and,
It's dead for 2024.
correct.
I'm not done, don't worry.
Well, I just wanted to, in the record, that
Okay.
this doesn't mean that we're not continuing to address this issue.
Yeah, and if we wanted to, we could say for reasons put forth by a certified wetland scientist, right, who has an idea that might be more workable, yeah?
Well, both ideas
Don't
were
know.
kind of by a wetland scientist, but
No.
there's two different ways of doing the
Doing
same
it,
thing,
yeah.
so which one's better, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll talk to both Toms and figure that out.
So review for 2025,
Yes,
okay?
So you're pulling that?
I'm pulling it. Yes, I am, sir. Say that way. Amendment 2 is the private road definition, I believe, yes. You want me to read it, or are we good with the way it is?
I just want to, based upon the information about a bill that's going before our legislature, that the issue before us isn't related to that, because we already have the ordinance in Article 37 that it's established. We're just giving a definition, and based on what I read about that bill, it's really looking at taking an established road and downgrading it to a private road. Whereas this is addressing the issue of establishing a private road from scratch.
Where no road had been before.
Correct.
Right.
Just to clarify.
Yep.
So just, so everybody know this is different from from the explanation of the private road?
We don't have a
There's
definition.
not a definition.
Oh, there isn't really a definition.
No, this is brand new.
So we're
We have
trying,
an
For
article,
years, we've, made anybody with 3 or more lots have a private road.
no, you had to have a road. Couldn't can't get a building permit on a private road without a variance.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know how the works of it worked, but while I was road agent, a few private roads were created.
I can think of one.
One off of Maple Wall.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, two, Sparrow and, I don't remember the other one's name now.
I shouldn't have said a few, but.
Yeah, there's two at least.
That one, there's one other, if you say that,
Yeah, there's that one, the one up on, Hoyt Mill.
I thought Colby Road was gonna have one, maybe I'll just share that. What was the other one, Bruce?
Hoyt Mill.
Hoyt Mill.
Yes,
Right.
that was the other one.
That was created because of the ZBA. They,
So did
They
Sparrow
gave 'em a
get
variance.
created.
Same way.
Okay, I'm fine with it, I just wanted to,
yeah.
for one, I didn't understand completely, and for two.
so what happened 2 years ago, we put forth Article 37, which passed, which was supposed to have 2 other points with it, a definition and a removal. And those 2 points didn't get put forward in the article
Okay,
or the warrant.
So Article
So
37.
we're just policing what we,
sure.
Article 37 is pretty much pretty much junk. You can't use it without changing, making these
Yeah,
other
no,
two
I
changes.
didn't know that it didn't actually have stuff, so yes, I'm fine with that.
So we need a motion to recommend, to continue this, no, that's not the word I want. What's the word I want?
Forwarded to the selectmen to addition for,
You just recommend that it be
Put on the ballot.
put on the ballot, yeah.
and make a motion, we recommend Article
2,
2 be put on the ballot. Amendment 2?
second.
Discussion? Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, now we're changing 17.1.1, Amendment 3, I'm sorry, 17.1.1, to take out the word private road, so it would read, no building permits for new homes shall be issued on a Class 6 road. Building permits may be issued for construction on a private road which are built to town standard and which are shown on a plan approved by the planning board.
Why is there a question mark there?
Question mark. That's a question, are you in favor?
Oh, okay.
It's.
Go ahead, slap me
it's
side
a
of the head.
Brain drain.
Been a long day, I understand, that's okay.
Yeah,
That's okay, I emailed myself 2 proposals today, so that's okay, I understand.
okay.
So basically, this is to allow us to get a building permit on a private road without going to the zoning board.
Which is the other part that we missed when we did the private road ordinance.
Right,
Right.
because that nullified what we had passed.
Right.
Any comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment.
I make a motion, we move on amendment number 3 to the selectmen for addition onto the ballot.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Number 4 is the camping ordinance. I'm gonna let Mr. Bruce explain this one again, since he was the author.
We have no regulations on campers right now, other than stuff in, ones that are located in campgrounds. So this will limit their use sitting on any lot, whether it be an empty lot or at someone's house or any lot, to 15 days in any 30-day period, so inside of a summer season of 4 months, they could use it for 60 days without having to get a special exception, which is, I don't think, by any means restrictive on anybody's rights to be able to use their property. It really, what it's intended to do is just stop people from living in campers.
I got a question. So in other words, if I have a empty lot on Lake Horace, I could put a camper there, leave it there year-round, and be in it every weekend?
Pretty much,
Okay. Because every weekend wouldn't be 15 days in a 30-day period.
right,
And it don't say about moving it.
right,
Just lock the door every Sunday night and drive away.
right,
Okay.
which is,
I don't have a problem with that. I'm just
no, I'm.
making sure
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
we know that.
That, you can. There's no,
What do you do with the wastewater?
Well, hopefully you hire somebody to come get it,
Just asking.
or you climb in the front seat and drive it someplace and get rid of it. Hopefully you have somebody come over and get it.
that's a lot more liberal, user-friendly than a lot of other communities are.
Oh, yes.
Campers.
But they're not to be rented as part of your,
Correct.
Right,
No, not for rent, it says right in there.
and then the second part of that is, for construction trailers on construction sites, which is similar, but there's a longer time frame in there to allow a period of construction. And then there's the last part is for manufactured homes to be used for temporary occupancy during repair or replacement of a damaged dwelling for up to a year. Right now, it's kind of strange, but our zoning only allows that in the Clinton Grove district.
Really?
Yeah. That's kind of how I stumbled upon it, to put it in here. There's no reason why we can't allow that in any destroyed dwelling in town.
Any comment from the public? Didn't think you were here for the last one.
Gil Kirk, Mount Dearborn Road. I don't have a problem with this, I just want to make sure I understand how it works. So a person has 100 acres and puts an RV on there and a sign on it that says for rent. How does this,
They need a special exception.
and how does one get a special exception?
Go to the zoning board.
The ZBA?
Yes. Nothing we can do about that, Neil.
Unless you required a conditional use permit.
We don't want to do that.
Thank you.
I don't think we can do that, because I don't think this is a innovative land use.
Yeah.
So I don't think it could be a conditional use permit.
One other thing, it's a technical correction, I think. 19.1.1, in the second line, it says allowed, comma, time extensions and so forth. That comma should be a period and the T should be capitalized. It's really a second sentence,
1-1.
which says 3-day, after a 365-day period are allowed, and there's a comma, and the sentence continues. That, the rest of that sentence, the time extensions and any other use, that's really a separate sentence. So if you put a period instead of the comma and capitalize the T,
Okay,
but other than
That
that,
makes sense.
it's fine.
yeah, okay. Got that? That's about the extent of the corrections we can make tonight.
We can do grammatical and typos, yes.
Yeah.
So Naomi, is the 19.1 gonna be on the ballot? Or are we gonna fix that because it's just a,
No, what's going on the ballot is this.
I think, no, I think, what was Laura's opinion? I thought-
Laura's kinda said we can just change it.
I think you can just fix it,
Yeah, we can just fix that next time it comes out.
because that happens more than not when you.
Oh, yeah.
you move things.
Oh, as far as that part.
Yeah,
Yeah, the point three.
numbering becomes different.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, that's why I put it in my thing to begin with.
I think, I remember her saying it was fine,
Yeah, I did too.
which is why she wrote your warrant articles. Questions?
Yeah, it's not even in the part she wrote.
I just wanted to make sure.
So I make a motion, we forward amendment number 4 to the selectmen for inclusion in the ballot.
Recommend it.
Make a motion, we
Second.
recommend.
And we have a second. Any more discussion?
I understand the reason, and I agree with what I believe your reason is, there's a couple parts of it I don't like, so I probably will vote no tonight.
What, don't
Most of
you?
the office trailers I know of are being used for business, and I don't know, if that'd make it hard on them, and although I know that your reason for the campers is just so people can't squat in a camper, and I agree with you 100% on that. I feel that, there's a rare instance that might be inconvenient for some people for 15 days. I think I'm on the same side as your reasoning. I don't know how to make it different, and you're better with it than me, but
The office trailers, if they want to have it on the site and use it like year-round for
Yep.
their business, it should be part of their site plan. At that point, we could just include it as part of the site plan.
Yep. If it's permanent, it should be part of the site plan.
If it was, the idea of these office trailers, is temporary office trailers, like they had down at your DPW building while they were building the building.
right.
We don't make somebody have to get a special exception for one of those. That's silly.
You mean to tell me there's silly ordinances?
No, it's
Oh, okay.
silly interpretations.
So right now, the way it stands, they'd have to get a special acceptance for that,
Right,
as long as that one was there.
yeah.
For a construction or office trailer, if it's gonna be used for more than 121 days, or if they want water or sleeping provisions.
Yeah.
So they can be there 121 days without a special exception.
Because that one was there a lot longer than that.
Yeah, it was a town building, though, that's exempt.
Well,
School edition, school stuff is exempt, town buildings. But for somebody building,
I don't think it'd be very hard to get the special
I
exception when you're
don't
building
either.
something.
So I think when the construction trailer shows up for the bridge, it's gonna be, that's gonna be more than 120 days.
yeah,
And the camper trailers, I think I mentioned this before, just, a personal experience, and I'm probably not the only one in town, but I found it was a long ways away, and when you come to visit for 2, 3, 4 weeks, because the whole cost of the trip was getting cross-country,
yeah.
and they come in and use the shower and the bathroom inside, but they sleep out in the camper, because the house ain't big enough for the whole family. If you get a neighbor that doesn't like the other neighbor, it just seemed that being troublesome for A, the neighbor that has the camper, and B, for the code enforcer that's gotta go out there and try to calm it down. I'm sure that your reasoning is so somebody can't buy a 2-acre lot on a class 6 road, put a camper out there.
Yep.
And I agree with you on that.
But-
I
and-
guess I worry about that.
The question is, where do you draw the line in the sand?
I understand.
And this is, I think, a reasonable line in the sand. It's half of the 30-day period.
And it does provide for more
Right,
Right.
if you know that's happening every year, if they're planning ahead, you can come say, hey, family's gonna be here, can I get a special exception for,
And is that something, you could get a special exemption from somebody? If you're gonna stay there?
Yeah. Right.
The zoning board, but
ZBA,
depending
yeah.
on timing,
yeah.
that's another.
You need to be thinking ahead. I mean, you wouldn't get it, the week before they're gonna be here.
And you gotta apply 15 days before the meeting and that kind of thing,
Yeah.
but
Now, if they had money and had their own law, and had a septic system and everything tied into it, is that different or is that the same?
No, that's still the same, because they're not, if it's a camper, it's, no matter how it's hooked up, or it's not made to be, they're not built to be lived in.
Sure. Yep.
I mean, you buy a camper, and if you tell the people you're buying it from, a brand-new camper, if you tell them they're gonna live in it, all the warranty bets are off.
Yeah.
Because the manufacturer won't warranty anything, because they're not made to be lived in.
Right. Yep.
And we kind of just going along the same lines, they're not meant, if it was a mobile home, they make you put on pads, tie them down, Camper just sitting on the wheels or blocks or whatever.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, it's just drawing a line in the sand, it's a pretty, if you look at what other towns do, it's a real
Generous?
line,
Is
yeah,
it-
yeah.
What's examples of some other towns? I ain't gonna say the town, but what the other examples, any other rules they have?
Yeah, some towns are none, some towns are 2 or 3 days, some towns are, that nobody has 15 days and 30 days.
Okay, yeah. I just wondering.
That's a matter of keeping your neighbors happy so nobody complains.
Any other comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained,
I'll abstain.
passed 4-1, 4-0-1. The last thing on the list is,
Number 5 was passed the last meeting.
Oh, that's
You already
right.
passed on five.
good, because I don't step down again then, good.
Yeah, we did that before.
That's right, we did, you did,
Yeah,
I was over there,
we had the big crowd here at the
we
wrestling.
did.
Guess I missed the party, huh?
We had like 8 people here. We had more people in the audience than there was in the board.
Packed house, oh my gosh.
Just knocked on a 10, oh jeez. So anyway, the only thing left that I know of is minutes.
Are you closing the public hearing? Or,
Do you have something else you'd like to?
no, as soon as you close it, I can go.
It's closed,
Thank you.
thank you. I can declare the meeting, I can declare that over, right? I can do that? Okay. So we got minutes, and I'll be honest, I did not read them very well yet.
I didn't
I
either,
glanced through them.
print them out.
So we got Janie, I get, they've got dyslexic for a moment there.
Yeah,
Danny Jean's
Maybe
point on line 80, nobody needs to be no body.
And just work, not works.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I have,
And is
one-
it nobody work as opposed to works?
No body work,
Okay.
yeah.
So the S is going too?
yeah. A similar type of thing happens on 167. Change the definition to say any way, not anyway.
Ah, you did, okay. I caught that one.
What did you get?
And you said you didn't read it.
I said I went through it real quick. That's quick.
Clearly I didn't get that far,
Yeah,
or I
it's-
would have
it's-
seen that too.
It's at the end of the page.
You know, the one correction I have is on page 2, line 89. I'll be nice. Sokolowski is spelled Sokolowski.
should again S-O,
Sokolowski.
you got to try that, I would have done.
And yes, I did have to look it up, don't worry.
Okay.
So you have to watch your enunciation next time.
Sokolowski.
It sounded like a V, I think, to her.
Can I interject a question that has nothing to do with the minutes at this point? Well, it has something to do with the minutes, but not with what we're doing with the minutes. I'll wait.
Just give long enough.
I was
answers,
gonna say you
unfortunately.
already did.
Sometimes you just have to talk it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise I would've forgotten.
Talk it through.
I can understand that.
It's hard when you're at home and you hear from the other room, are you talking to me or yourself
I'll make a
again?"
motion, we approve the minutes as amended.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? They took my garbage can.
Oh,
I think it's on, I don't know what, out there.
Been gone for a couple of years now. It's been a while. Yes,
So the
sir.
question I have, in these minutes, two different occasions, it comes up that a question as to whether we've been working on a particular item for X amount of time, or how long. And so, at what point in time do we need to think about informing others purposefully to say, this is what's on the docket, and even though they have access to it via the webpage or via the email notification as to what is on the agenda, if you signed up for it. Because in two different cases, one from another board asked the question, and then private citizen asked the question. Two unrelated things. As to, it seemed like the attitude, or maybe the chatter from whatever media source you are arguing from, was that we were lazy and we're doing this so rapidly that, but yet, we justified in the meeting, and it's justified in the minutes, that we've been working on said items for some time. So I just wanted to throw out the concept of us being more proactive, possibly, in informing others.
master plan?
And, yeah, put it in the master plan?
No, I mean, is that what you're referring to?
No, I mean, I'm talking about going, what the questions that were made by the Conservation Commission as to, your initial thoughts were wait. What ends up being the case anyways. But the point is that
Yes.
what justifies the work we've done to put it on hold when the information, every meeting has been out there to say this has been on the agenda for the last 3-4 years that I've been involved, that we've talked about that, and yet now at the last hurrah, there seems to be questions as if we're trying to push something through, when we're not. We've deliberated over the whole concept for some time. So just to kind of be more proactive with our communication is what I'm concerned about. So that we're not having all these issues
I
forthcoming, you know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying. How would we do that? Would we state in every meeting, okay, this is the 6th time we've talked about that, it's been 6 months, it's
We
been,
could do that, or we could say that we need to identify who needs to be informed. And make that a purposeful thing that we do in
There might be
its
a way to
reg-
do it when we propose zoning amendments,
Right.
when we start to talk about them.
Because even when we looked at, which was now been removed, but when we looked at the process of the 6 points, we understood in our explanation that point 1 is still going to be just as valuable as point 6. They all have to be evaluated, not just one, not a one and done thing.
Right.
So too, when we look at these types of things, who are we going to provide information to? As far as other boards and other concerns, so that everybody understands the purpose and direction, that these are issues that have come to us, or we're familiar with other situations in other communities that have to address this, or like when we talked about the master plan and funding of the master plan and
Well, this,
affordable housing, or whatever you wanna call it, those types of things are right out in front of us, and we're trying to be more responsible and more proactive in solving problems, as opposed to people making accusations that we're trying to do something behind their backs, when we're not.
well, My knee-jerk reaction to that would be, this is a public process with a public agenda that's
Correct, I agree
posted,
that.
so.
Yeah, and I understand that. Well,
Yeah.
so it comes,
Here's an idea. It would put a little bit of onus on them to read our minutes. When we approve a copy of the minutes, once you approve them, do you send to anybody? Or do you just give them to the town clerk? Huh?
yeah, anyone, so I would say that anybody who has been here
No, I
is
was
here.
I was just gonna suggest sending them to, chairman of,
That's a lot of work.
I know,
Yeah.
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 And yourself decide
So a way to address this then would be to advise
I think
all the committees and all the boards to recognize that you need to take a more proactive stance in paying attention. So that when, I get the draft of the selectmen's minutes, I get the final of the I get all that stuff because
Yeah.
I signed up for it.
And they could too.
Yes. So that, just to make it plain that everybody has access to all that information, it's nothing,
At the same time, I'll take the blame for the Conservation Commission, because I wanted to get there a couple months before that. I just didn't have it ready to present to anybody.
but even then, the process that we were undergoing had been months and months and
Oh,
months and
yeah.
months,
But
so,
you did several drafts. I
yeah.
find that
So
book.
why couldn't they have paid attention to what others are
They
doing?
could have.
Because it's easier to do it this way.
Okay.
And the other,
It
See,
would-
no,
Yeah, I
seriously.
understand, I
It
understand.
would, it would be good for us to be proactive and, whatever, that might be the wrong word, but just realize that, hey, at least send somebody a copy of the minutes. When we know we're talking Conservation Commission, grab the minutes and I can send them to the Conservation Commission, say, hey, check out page 2, line
Yeah.
346, we talked about you,
but
something.
to be fair, I was at a meeting, that meeting that they had with all the boards they were trying to put together. And they had talked about this a couple times, I guess, about how they're gonna get monuments set in subdivisions that we still had bonds on. And they didn't even realize
Yeah, they did.
to look in the file that we had a bond, because they were trying to figure out how they're gonna pay for getting bonds put in and everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of a,
Well, if they didn't realize it, then they weren't listening.
Well, I'm just
because
thinking-
We changed that a long time ago,
oh, I know,
and we
So-
told them then we had bond money
What do you
to set
think?
the monuments.
Pastor
know.
Bill, should we be
So
sending?
they either weren't listening or weren't paying
they
attention.
had,
or-
they had a debate,
I
Sending.
a couple meetings about it.
The meeting minutes to?
I don't think we need to necessarily send a meeting
Sure.
minutes, but if if what we're doing is, because we've talked about this in the past, where we need to get somebody else's input on this, so when, we're dealing with a site plan, has the fire department addressed this? Have the police department addressed this?
They get copies of all that
And we
stuff, yeah.
make note of that. So too, we should do that when we're going through a zoning change, that we need to bring everybody, these are the zoning amendments that we're considering, maybe bringing up in 2025, but we're working on.
Okay, so I've got a question for you.
And not to say that even if we did that, they would pay attention, because I've got that same problem in my profession. I give information 5 different ways, and I still have people who have no idea what's going on.
So something like the private roads, who would we want to contact, tell them, hey, we're doing something with private roads? It's not the highway department, because it's not their road.
Correct. But we'd want to notify someone, code enforcement, and Tony in the land use department. We want to notify the fire department possibly, because that's going to affect their ability to get in there.
yeah, we already did that the way we did the ordinance.
Right,
The highway department inspects it anyway.
yeah. So there's,
And when,
but even then, it's, so similar to what we did just now with the private road issue, we've explained it to people who were here, and they still had a question over why we were doing that, when they already voted in Article 37 2.5 years ago.
Yes.
And our town council said, hey, wait a minute, that's void because of this.
We missed
And so
this.
we need, and it was, as the piece of paper that I had the definition and had the changes that needed to take place on that same piece of paper that was presented to be voted on, but somehow it didn't get participating in it. And so now we're addressing that. Just
something. to
Just
think about.
another thing to think about, to be patient and give perspective and understanding going forward, so that we're not,
So it's a two-pronged, it's between boards and it's also to the public.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
we've got it covered with the public, because everything is available.
Okay.
It's not like we're hiding anything, but I don't know who on other boards are getting all the information. You know, maybe that's something that the chair of a board or a chair, vice chair needs to be getting, those minutes or that information from all the other boards, so that if there's something that's addressed by them or needs to be addressed by them, they are aware of it, as opposed to coming to our meeting, you know, just as the example, coming to our meeting, yes, we went to their meeting to present it, but yet it seemed like there was like some pushback to say, I'm not sure that we should do this. And seemingly like we didn't do our work. And we'd spent a lot of time and energy in doing our work.
Yeah, I think it's not just you guys.
We run into it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a way for us to be more transparent.
Yeah.
That way we're able to be more effective.
It is a real problem, it's very frustrating, I mean, I think the select board runs into that also with boards. I feel like the public too, you know, you get a certain topic that comes up that we've talked about 4 times and taken a walk, and
Yeah,
all of a sudden the room's full of mad people because somebody said something on Facebook, and
right,
we'd already discussed it in depth, we're trying to pull something fast,
yeah.
I'm like, all right.
Well, that's what,
And maybe the
So-
TV doesn't work, and we're trying to hide something, it is a public meeting, you can't
Yeah.
come sit in one of them chairs.
right.
You
Well,
don't
it's-
have the
You
door
can
shut.
watch it from home, and if you don't like it, come here, get in the car. I mean, it's
Yeah.
happened before.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, I
It
wish,
takes me 20 minutes to get here, though.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I don't have an answer to it.
No,
but
it's
it is
not.
frustrating.
I'd like to know
There's no
what's-
perfect solution. It means someone has to, all have to be on top of informing.
It's just something we need to be aware of.
That's all.
And think about.
Just as an FYI.
I'm not volunteering for anything, but should we have a social media page?
No,
Okay.
No,
that turns into,
that's a good way to get in trouble.
yeah,
We already have
Okay.
one.
you gotta have,
Yeah, it's the town of Ware.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I don't have time to do it, nor am I a Facebook friend.
Oh, I wouldn't volunteer you for anything.
I'm the one who has to post it.
Oh, you are? Okay.
That's why it probably hasn't had posted. in a couple
Nobody on a board would be able to do that.
I had administrative assistant do it before.
Yeah.
Put it on with Facebook.
No, I'm not volunteering you for additional work. No way. No way.
But, I mean, each one of, if I want something out fast on Facebook, I reach out to the police chief. They're always making, they've got 14,000 followers, I get 300, so.
We don't have 14,000 people in town.
No, but I'm just saying, when, like,
No, I
it worked
gotcha.
out really well, I needed volunteers for the bridge. And I got 9 people within a few, like, I had instantly, once it hit Facebook, I had people volunteering to go through all those things. Had we put it on our website, but, you know, it's, the fire has one, DPW just started one. He tries to post things, but he's busy too, you know? There's gotta be some ownership to yourself.
right.
Which ironically, we have a Facebook policy,
We have social media policy,
it
yeah.
drives me crazy. Can't be on Facebook at lunchtime, but the departments can have Facebook, it's another conversation, I don't like it.
Oh, that's an interesting
You have time to be on
conundrum, isn't it?
Facebook, you got time to be doing something else, but
He's as much Facebook guy as
I
I am.
hate it.
I don't go there. I follow one person, that's
If
fishing
people get on
guide.
bandwagon without finding the information, be one thing, if they ask a question,
Yeah.
or you got angry.
No, but I kinda think that if somebody is wanting to know what we do, they should be able to, between the agenda and the minutes, be able to find out anything they want to
Absolutely.
real quick.
Absolutely.
Even if you went on the agenda and subscribed to every single agenda for every single committee, you get the email, you read through the agenda, you delete it if it's not nothing too important to you.
right, the agenda's one page, you know, so it's,
That's what I'm saying,
yeah.
if you just wanna do the agenda, not necessarily the minutes, but.
Right.
I don't know,
And then again, you're gonna get your cyclical interest,
Yep.
you know, because there's a squeaky wheel in the neighborhood, so now I pay attention to that. The other things I don't pay attention to,
Right.
right? So,
I got clients like that. Anything else?
I think that wraps up our zoning amendment section of the year.
I think it does, yes.
so
So we wanna talk about master plan in next month?
It's gonna wait till after town meeting. Let's wait till after town meeting. Can we wait till after
Usually,
town
I'm
meeting?
just gonna say, usually you guys kinda lay low and see what passes and what doesn't, but that's up to you.
well, do we have things pending too?
You have no applications right now, so,
Really? Have to work on
the
that.
deadline's February first, which is next
I
Thursday.
can't make that.
Right, so I'm just saying, and typically that meeting would be the 28th, but if you have no applications, and then your next meeting's after town meeting, so.
Right. But there's really nothing within our amendments that would affect us meeting, right? Or would be part of our discussion anyway.
We're done with the minute, we're done with the zoning amendments.
Right,
Yeah,
So if you had an application, you might have a meeting.
right.
and there's, when you're talking about master plan, there are some, I'm sure you're aware, legislation being proposed for dealing with housing, the housing issue in New Hampshire. So there's stuff percolating at the state level, and it would probably behoove us to get out ahead of that unless we want to have the state tell us what what we should do. Or maybe that's okay, until it happens and people are upset about it. Just a thought. I'm gonna start looking at
So
some
you
stuff
want to have a
just
work
to.
session on the 8th,
February
February 8th,
8th, okay.
then you would have, if you get any applications, you'd have a hearing right on the 22nd. So if you met on the 8th, you know, we could continue the topic, that's a work session. 22nd, I might have to have Bruce do the computer, because I'm not here that week.
See if we get an application.
Huh?
See if we get any applications.
That's the one week that I try to go find snow, or we try to go find snow.
Good luck.
'Cause we have Monday off for President's Day. And the town report will be at the printer, and the mail will be at the printer, so.
So Naomi runs away.
You're
Well, she
in
has
the window between
opportunity,
deadlines
of
and
course.
meeting right then. Nothing can happen anyway.
So that was a hint, 22nd. We can talk about what's next.
A hint to have no applications, you mean?
So I shouldn't hurry and try to get mine in by the 1st?
No,
Okay.
I stand on the 2nd.
Just wait, lose it until, you know.
I don't have one anyway, I was just saying
We'll see
that.
what happens. I don't know, we haven't been overdated even with, the zoning board didn't meet January, didn't meet February. There was no applications.
Strange.
You have one more motion to make if you're gonna wait, unless you're gonna sit here.
I'm waiting.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Wow. Discussion, all in favor?
Hey, you're cutting into my Jeopardy time, guys.
Celtics are on.
Yeah.
Celtics are on.